Namaste, hope everything is well. Let us start our NLSAT prep. Hopefully you have the official sample paper. If not, either download it from NLS's official website or TLOIPDFs.com, your choice, and then read this para before you start off with this lecture. So in the part B module of our online coaching program, we will be discussing the language that is needed and preparing current affair essays, basically all the most important topics, ताकि हमारा सब कुछ सामने पहले से तैयार हो. Part A की तैयारी already from the current affair module, from the static GK module, from everything English module, सब basically आपकी हो चुकी होगी if you have obviously completed those modules. Now we will be discussing around 25 odd questions, possibly more, but minimum to 25 हम लोग legal reasoning के करेंगे, so that you get into the habit of framing your language in such a manner. Now if you're watching this on YouTube, because we ideally speaking put each and every the first one of each and every module on YouTube, please try to frame out language such as this. It's not a worry that if you're not a student of the academy full-fledged in an online coaching program, it's absolutely not worry. Please learn from the language that I'm just about to give you. Now let us start off with what exactly do we write when we'll be tackling the legal reasoning का question in the part B of the paper. So first pause this lecture here और यहाँ पे जरा प्लीज ये जरा पूरा पैसेज पढ़ के आए संदीप जी और होटल वाला, ताकि आई डू नॉट हैव टू रीड इट फ्रॉम द स्क्रीन बिकॉज दैट इज वेरी बोरिंग. अब अगर आपने प्ले दोबारा बटन दबा दिया है आफ्टर रीडिंग दिस लेक्चर, द important things to keep in mind is, first and foremost, their guidelines, and what NLSAT has said that there is no right answer or a correct answer. So it's basically you can take alternative positions. जब उन्होंने पूछा will Sandeep succeed, you can say yes, you can say no, it's absolutely okay. They are judging you कि जी आप reasoning कैसे कर रहे हैं. So over the next 25 odd questions that we'll be discussing in the further lectures in the module, I'll try to give you the language or the flow of the answer that will help you possibly score better than your competition. Now, general restrictions is no prior knowledge of law is expected. So even if you are answering it as a layman, absolutely great. If obviously you watched the torts ka lecture, you pretty much know all of that as well, all of the legal terminology by now. So if you can use that, great. If you can't use that, it's absolutely okay. But on the strength of reasoning, cogency of arguments, so the clarity of arguments and the strength of your reasoning and ability to set out a clear conclusion, do not forget this. All right, so we need to conclude our answers in a very definitive basis. Now when we go here in this passage, so the relevant details are that the government imposed a ban on interstate travel and restriction. होटल का नाम भी चलता है, but the guests refused to wear masks and the hotel management shut down the various amenities in the interests of the guest safety. Pointer, they also put out almost like a night curfew sort of a situation or guideline for the guests. And Sandeep ji tested 2 weeks positive 2 weeks thereafter. तो please ये पहले passage पढ़ लीजिए, मैं दोबारा पूरी चीज़ यहाँ से screen से नहीं पढ़ने वाला हूँ. And the hotel management, he's arguing they did not enforce the rule about wearing masks strictly, as a result of which guests moved out without the mask, and well, basically he got this illness thanks to the. So his basic argument is that you did not impose the rules or the guidelines very strictly, so therefore I got the disease, therefore you need to pay, right? So the hotel management defend themselves by saying that Sandeep should ask for compensation from other guests. Very अच्छी बात है. Now before you will be starting out in your answer in the exam, कृपया करके will Sandeep succeed? Either, so there are two roads that you can take, either yes or no, and stick to that road. So it is certainly, as जैसे इन्होंने बोला, there is no right answer, that's okay, but we have to stick to that road कि हम अब पीछे वाला जो रास्ता हमने छोड़ दिया उसके बारे में हम सोचेंगे नहीं, but इसका अब argument उनको बताना वो check कर रहा है. जो argument, the ability to reason it out, that is what is being checked, not fancy flowery language. That is not being checked. The way that you can argue out a conclusion, so almost like critical reasoning, but यहाँ पे आपने काम करना है. So if I'll just give you the way in which this is not certainly the ideal answer. Obviously it can be improved, it can be bettered by you only, since well all of you are very competent capable individuals. So this is just a way, not the correct way. You can pretty much choose your own path and carve out your own niche. Now, in my considered opinion, please start writing this answer. In my considered opinion, Sandeep will not succeed against the hotel. अब अगर इन्होंने यहाँ पर मतलब मैं ज़्यादा will Sandeep succeed, तो संदीप होटल के पीछे जा रहा है, होटल वाले कह रहे हैं दूसरे गेस्ट के पीछे जाओ, but we will start with Sandeep will not succeed against the hotel. So this is one way that I'm taking. मैंने पहले डिसाइड कर लिया कि भाई संदीप नहीं जीतने वाला. In my considered opinion, Sandeep will not succeed as it was the government which imposed the lockdown. Do not write who यहाँ पे. So be careful slightly with your English as well. Which imposed the lockdown, thus forcing guests to stay in the hotel. And the hotel also attempted to take care of its guests by mandating masks to be worn and imposed a night curfew-like situation in the interest of the guest's safety. Correct? So basically we are arguing that the hotel की कोई गलती नहीं थी यहाँ पे. Hotel did everything. Alright. So the hotel was forced to serve food in a dining hall due to a staff shortage due to the unprecedented time of virus outbreak, and it can be concluded that they had no intention to harm any of the guests or injure their lives. The hotel did try to take all measures. अब guests ने ही नहीं follow करा तो hotel वाले को कैसे पड़ेगा? The hotel cannot police the guests. The hotel said that it is absolutely mandatory to wear masks. You cannot be out of your room due to the staff shortage. अब hotel की कोई intention थोड़े ना थी in the dining hall इनको खाना खिलाने की. So you can argue this out कि भाई there was no intention also. But how does the hotel police the guests? Right? You can write these lines. And remember, you have to conclude your answer in 150 words. So that is about अगर 4 word एक line में जा रहे हैं तो somewhere around the 38 line marks, right? So therefore, in conclusion, based on the reasons above, Sandeep will not succeed if he brings an action against the hotel because the hotel did take all measures and safeguards. The guests did not follow it, right? So therefore, I have taken one line that Sandeep will not succeed. Why? Because the hotel did take each and every measure that was necessary. The hotel was unable to police the guests, and as it is, there was no intention because they did try to take measures. The guests did not follow. How is it the hotel's liability? Therefore, I have also concluded my answer. So, kripaya karke do conclude your answers. This framing of answers will get better and better as I discuss more and more questions with you in the module. Now, what you need to keep in mind is key. This is not the correct answer. This is not, in fact, this is not even the only line of argument that you can take. But if you were to take another line of argument that Sandeep will succeed, let's say it's absolutely you're free to absolutely choose that path because 19(1)A freedom of speech and expression always were given part 3 revise karte rehte hain polity साथ साथ. What will you argue is my point. So if we go back to the passage, so it is absolutely crucial and critical to decide which line of argument are you going to be taking before you start writing an answer. And obviously अब वहाँ पे timer लगा हुआ है तो time की भी थोड़ी सी दिक्कत है, right? तो इसीलिए right after reading the passage, decide in your mind what will you be writing. ठीक है जी? So अब यहाँ पे क्या चक्कर है? यहाँ पे अगर मैं होटल की liability fix करना शुरू करूँ तो we can argue कि जी ऐसा है आपने you did not enforce the rule about wearing the mask strictly and you basically served, यहाँ पे कहीं पे लिखा हुआ है, and the hotel served meals in a communal dining area. Since many hotel staff had contracted COVID-19, there was insufficient staff to deliver the meal to guests. So if I want to fix the liability on the hotel, I will use 2 points mainly to lead to a conclusion that Sandeep will succeed here because what will happen is, you served us food in a communal dining hall and therefore enabling the virus to spread faster, and you did not implement the mask mandate very, very strictly. All right. So yeah, that's how you're going to be tackling out the legal reasoning section. Okay. Now what we are going to be doing in about 5 days, it will take me 5 days from now, I'll upload the 25 odd questions. So basically by today is Wednesday, I'll do it by this Monday. आपके पास ये delivery हो जाएगी of all of these lectures, and then you can watch it. Try to craft out answers in the manner that I'm providing to you. Try to better them. You can always better them. This is not, this is not the answer that will fetch the most marks. I'm sure the students are out there who will write better answers than this. This is just an impromptu discussion, but at least हमारा flow set हो जाएगा, right? Given the situation that they'll be providing us with in the exam, and enabling us to score better than our competition, because that's what the aim of an academy always is, to improve their students better than, basically, to be better at the competition. All right, with that impromptu sentence correction right while I'm speaking, I conclude this lecture. Now I'll see you in the next ones. Take care. Bye.